Hi there, my name's Haley Baker. I'm a senior in the School of Sustainability at ASU, and I'm going to talk to you today about the business case for sustainability, why so many companies fail at it, and what they can do about it. So first, let's go a little bit into what sustainability in business means. The classic sustainable business approach relates to the three Ps: people, planet, and profit. When you think about business, you think about their bottom line. You think about how they're trying to maximize profits and create value for their shareholders. The idea behind the sustainable business approach is the triple bottom line, which addresses socially progressive issues, makes the company environmentally conscious, and maintains their fiscally sound practices as a business. So the idea behind a sustainable business is to expand their bottom line to include social and environmental issues. And this brings a lot of benefits for companies. The big three are reducing costs, improving revenue, and advancing the brand. So as you can see in this graph right here, sustainability can protect, strengthen, and advance the company's goals by avoiding costs and improving risk management, by saving money by cutting costs and increasing employee retention, and advancing the brand by enabling growth and improving reputation and gaining a new market share in sustainable markets. So sustainability has a lot of benefits for businesses, which is why it's important to pursue. But even though it's so important, the success rate for companies to achieve true sustainability programs in their companies is only 2%. That's a 98% failure rate for most sustainability programs in companies. And coupled with the fact that the top 100 companies in the world contribute to 71% of the global carbon emissions since the 1980s, and the fact that business activities cost the global economy and environmental impacts $4.7 trillion every year, business has a huge impact and is not making enough of a difference in implementing their sustainability programs to try and reduce these giant numbers. And so that's why implementing sustainability in business is very important. So there's some big barriers to the success of sustainability programs in companies. The first one is that there's a lack of employee engagement. A lot of employees don't think that sustainability is actually important to a company's bottom line, and so while they see it as a good way to improve image, they don't see it as core to the business, and so are not as engaged in making those programs happen. The second barrier is that there is no alignment with the core business strategy. A lot of companies will have a sustainability program kind of to the side of the core business strategy. So they say they are doing a sustainability program, but are not making it a part of their everyday business and their core values. And so the strategy gets lost in the muck with that. And the third barrier to success is a focus on weak rather than strong sustainability. These terms might sound a little emotional, but they do have some scientific backing to them. Weak sustainability refers to an approach to sustainability that thinks that nature is replaceable with either synthetic materials or technology, or just human progress over time will be able to replace the resources we use, and so we therefore have more of a license to use them now. Versus strong sustainability, which is the idea that nature as it stands is inherently valuable and irreplaceable, and so there's more of a focus on protecting what we have now instead of relying on technologies to save us in the future. A lot of business sustainability programs focus on weak sustainability and kind of count on the replacement of nature in the future, which is not necessarily guaranteed. So that is another barrier to success as well. So with all of these barriers to success, what can companies do about it? One of the biggest things a company can do is make a public commitment to sustainability. And a good example of this is actually the Coca-Cola Company, who has made big strides in their public commitment and stakeholder engagement strategy. They use something called the Golden Triangle, which means that they engage with business, government, and society as a whole. By engaging with these three sectors of society, they are able to get a lot of different viewpoints and also ensure or drive home their commitment to these three areas of society. And so they are able to address a lot more issues and learn more about what's important to society and the world at large. So this has made Coca-Cola one of the leaders in the sustainability space, and they maintain their public commitment today. The second big thing to do for a company is to get the CEO and leading management officials on board. A good example of this is actually Walmart's CEO, Doug McMillon. He has done a very good job of advocating for the sustainability efforts of his company. Here is a good quote from him. It says, "The world needs inclusive growth provided in a sustainable manner. People are demanding it." This quote shows engagement with what stakeholders are wishing for from companies, and it shows that he takes responsibility on for the sustainability programs of a company, for Walmart in particular, and it's paying off. Walmart is also a leader in the sustainability space and has even made a commitment to reduce carbon emissions in their supply chain by 1 billion tons by 2030, which is an extremely ambitious goal, but would not be possible without full integration into the management and leadership levels of the company. So this is a good example of how a CEO's commitment can really make a difference. The third thing a company can do is find the business case. A lot of companies get stuck in the idea that sustainability is just kind of a side gig, a side program to increase their public presence or improve their image. Finding the business case means trying to balance the business strategy of a company with the sustainability benefits that a lot of the integration of the two can bring. So this graph is an example of how, when addressing more than just one or two segments of the company's business model with sustainability strategy, by aligning more than just one or two of those models, say 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, it brings increased profits to the company. So that's an example of a business case. It brings more profit to the company while allowing them to maintain their core business strategy and then also doing sustainability and looking good doing it. So this last bar shows that when target segments and value chain processes are changed, and 3 or 4 of those are changed at a time, you can get 59% more profit for your business. So it's a pretty big motivator. The fourth thing that a company can do is integrate incentives and processes, which sounds like a mouthful, but it actually leads to some fruitful results. A good example of this is 3M. They've implemented a program called Pollution Prevention Pays into their core business strategy. It's a program that allows employees to complete programs or projects that either reduce the amount of pollution that 3M activities cause, or reduces the amount of energy used, or saves money in a manufacturing or other process. So through this program, employees have saved 2.1 million tons of pollutants and have been very active in the sustainability efforts of 3M as a company as a result. So this is an example of how you can integrate incentives into a business and change the processes by including employees and making them more committed to the sustainability efforts of the company. So those are some of the things that companies can do to improve their sustainability programs. And thank you so much for listening.